What is up, Eagles Nation? We are the West Coast Eagles Nest. My name is Hisham.
My name is Hassan.
My name's Nick.
And this is the West Coast Eagles Nest podcast. So we just finished up the first preseason game of the season, the first Eagles game of the season.
Hell yeah.
Yes, it's back,
Hallelujah.
baby. It's back.
Thank you.
Seven long, arduous months, and we are now back with some Eagles football and the NFL.
Those
and I'm
7
so
months,
happy.
man.
It feels so good to be back. It feels really good to be back.
It really does.
So we wanted to just dissect the preseason game we just watched, the Eagles versus the Tennessee Titans. It was a unfortunate loss, 27-10. We wanted to talk about some of the good things that we saw, some of the good players that stood out to us, and then we also want to talk about the negatives, and then we also want to talk about some of the players that we feel who are on the cusp that could be cut. This preseason.
Yeah.
So let's see. Just jumping into the game. I want to get your guys' opinions of what you guys thought about the game overall. As an overall game, what did you like seeing out there? Some standouts.
We had him in that first half. We had him in the first half.
Okay.
And Sudfeld
I agree with you there.
had to go down. But unfortunately, that's just the way things play out. Unfortunately, injuries happen, and unfortunately, that was like our gradual slide into just we just lost. We just tanked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but as far as it goes, I mean, Nate Studfeld, he had a game, man. He had a game. He finished, 10 for 17?
10 for 17, 10 for 19, I
10
believe
for
it was
17,
what it was.
10
But he had a nice touchdown. One thing that really stood out to me was that nice 75-yard touchdown pass to Mark and Michelle.
Mark and Michelle, man.
Glory,
It was a bomb, man. What a bomb.
Yeah,
that was
great
sick.
bomb. It was
Stepped
great
right
to
into
see.
the pocket and just...
Yeah, and just nice float, really delivered the ball very, very, very well to Markin, who is another nice, I think, receiver out there who showed out some promise today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. The first half was really great. I think we saw some good plays. You saw a lot of the offense really moving in that first half. Yeah. I think that was one of the nice things. And then I think our defense really was playing well. They were playing well towards the beginning of that first half. Second half, the end of it, I felt they kind of trickled off, and we changed up how we were playing a little bit.
That's true.
But I'm sorry, you were saying, what were we going to say?
Oh, no, the one thing threw me off and stuff like that. It was like, I'm like, Michelle? What, like, Sonny Michelle? And, yeah, my brother ended up telling me, oh, yeah, it's his brother.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's another cool, fact out there that we got another Michelle in the NFL.
Yeah.
Hopefully let's go ahead and dissect some of the players. I mean, who are some of the players you guys really like seeing out there playing?
I mean, as far as it goes on the offense, I think Dallas Goedert in the first quarter was just all-star, man. I mean,
delivered.
3 receptions for 50 yards, and this dude was using his body. He was blocking, he was doing everything. I mean, with the time that he was given, in the first quarter. So I think the fact that we have Dallas Goedert, pairing it up with Zach Ertz, this dynamic duo of tight ends is just going to be great. But he had a really good game, and I mean, he was going up against first team starters against Tennessee Titans, for their secondary, and he was just eating them up alive. So I think the fact that he was out there in his first game back off of his rookie season, he showed promise, and I think I see nothing but man.
I'm gonna tell you right now, right off the bat, just between like number 86 myself right here, I got Zach Ertz on right now. Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert just remind us a lot of like the Patriots back when you had Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez together, like just amazing.
Hopefully it's not the same ending though. But I mean, to be completely honest, I have to agree with Nick. I think Dallas Goedert was one of those nice standouts from today's game where he showed a dominance out there.
Yeah.
I felt like he had really great control when he was holding for positioning. Ran his routes great. I think he really gave his route running a lot out there when he went in and had his catches and performed well. For me, I would say another offensive player that I really liked was Sudfeld. I think Nate Sudfeld.
Nate Sudfeld did an amazing job.
I think what you guys saw from him is something that he's capable of, and that's why Dougie P has said multiple times that he believes
he's comfortable
in Sudfeld if something was to happen to Carson.
Exactly.
Knock on wood, nothing happens to our great Ginger Jesus, but
the governor of
Pennsylvania.
The governor of Pennsylvania.
He drives the Wentz wagon.
Yes.
And the future MVP, hopefully.
Future MVP of the league.
Yeah.
But, I think that's one thing that's important, that we always want to have that, we have that next man up mentality with this team, because we're always looking for, we want that depth, because especially in 2017 when we won the Super Bowl, I think that was one of the biggest things that played into it, was that, hey, our depth matters. And it showed that season, because we had Jason Peters go down. We had Jordan Hicks go down. And then we had Carson go down, and it was like I said, next man up mentality.
I think it was engraved into that team. I mean, in the locker room, probably they have it says next man up, and that's how we won. We won with that mentality, underdog mentality. Next man up. It's just it was there. So as far as it goes, I think Nate Sudfeld. Hopefully, he comes back. He comes back healthy from this injury. He did go down, and they did do X-rays after the game. It was a broken wrist to his non-throwing arm, which was his left wrist. He's having surgery tomorrow, Friday, August 9th?
Yeah,
August 9th. And hopefully he comes back strong. So as far as it goes, I think Nate Sudfeld had a really good game. And we gotta see what happens from there. Who else did you think had a really good game today?
Another player who stood out to me was I wouldn't say he had like the greatest game out there, but was he had some solid points, was JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Yeah,
I thought
absolutely.
He had some nice routes that he ran. He had one catch that I felt he could have hauled in just a little, but the effort was there. I think that's one thing that's great to see. It's just the effort is there with some of these young receivers.
Yeah.
But great size, great kid. I really like his mentality out there of his route running and looking to really get positioning on the ball, because I think one thing they said I think is true with him, and that what I kind of saw, even though he's not open, he is open. Just because he's such a big guy, he works his body kind of like how Alshon does. So I think that's one really cool component about him. Yeah. But I like what I saw from JJ.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, as far as he goes for Whiteside, like that wide receiving core, that whole offense for the Eagles, I mean, it's there. And the fact that you're going to be able to position him in the red zone with that big body, he's going to be able to just, throw it up for Whiteside, just like how you throw it up for Alshon Jeffrey, and he's going to go up and get it for you. I think that's how they're going to use him. And the fact that he's a rookie, he has nowhere to go, up from here. So, I agree. I think JJ is going to be he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, they're going to refine him into an amazing player. Like he's gonna have he's going to be an amazing part of this offensive team.
Yeah, I agree
without a doubt.
Who else we got?
Who do you think, Hassan? Somebody.
What's his name? The Australian Wonder.
Jordan Mailata.
Yes, Jordan Mailata. Oh God, just amazing that is in his second season of playing football, coming from a rugby, background and stuff like that, and being able to take on the sport like he has. He's just showing amazing promise and just in phenomenal growth, without a doubt.
I think he really stood his game really well this game. I think you saw some really nice things from him. I think he was playing at right tackle today.
Yeah.
But I think we saw like really, really great promise from Jordan. And it's something from that body, that frame. I mean, he's 6'8".
Hassan was saying the fact that he doesn't have any football experience, but he has that rugby experience. It just comes from how he's built, the fact that he's just big body,
natural athleticism and stuff. That's just a testament to just the beast that he is. You know what I mean?
Yes,
hell yeah,
absolutely. And then I would say another player who you have to talk about and give praise to today was Andre Dillard on the other side, man. The left tackle, rookie left tackle, man. That first round pick, man, that was insane.
Rookie left tackle, man.
And I mean, this guy was playing against some of the starting defensive line of the Tennessee Titans, and he was stout. He was stout. Ooh. I mean, the guy really stood his ground, and I think one of the nicest things about him is that you could really see it in his feet. The way he moves, he already has the maneuvering of a pro, of an established pro. So I think he was huge today. I think he really showed why we had to move up and get him, and I think he's going to be worth it down the line. I mean, especially with Peters. I mean, more than likely this being Peters' last year. Who knows? Anything is possible. I think that's one thing that you want to take into consideration is what we can bring up from the rookie class going into the the later years.
Right.
So I think that's one thing I really loved about Andre Dillard. I think he was great all game long. He really brought it.
Yeah, man, he was pushing those men around, man. The fact that he's a rookie and he's going up there with the starters on the Tennessee Titans side, he was standing his ground, and his feet work is amazing. It just goes to show you that this dude's going to grow, and the fact that you're playing right next to, Jason Peters, he's going to show you so much. This team is dedicated and, meshing and building players, and I think we have it there with Andre Dillard.
Yeah, Andre Dillard.
Very, lots of promise. Lots of just promise on it.
But as far as it goes, I think those are the majority of the people we felt like
the bright spots. I felt those were the bright spots.
I think those were the bright spots. Takeaways from the game today. The first, like Hassan and Hesh said, the first half, we were playing great. The first quarter, I mean, we gave up 0 points, and we had that 3-0 lead going out of the first quarter. But once the second half started, it was just downhill, and it just looked like it was all a mess. The players that were coming in and coming out, like the third team, fourth team,
third string, fourth string.
Yeah, it was done, and I think
you can tell that's when they started getting depleted. Yeah. Well, I felt like we really went down when Sudfeld went down. Yeah. I mean, as soon as Sudfeld went down, I felt like the offense kind of stalled. Really couldn't get anything moving.
And do you think the reason why, once that happened, do you think Doug Peterson was like, you know what, it's the first game of the preseason, let's go ahead and start pulling players out and putting in, the third string.
So, I think okay. So the purpose of preseason is always to get these guys who are practice squad players, who are players who really you don't really see any much action of. You give them the chance to really go out there and prove themselves.
That are fighting for that position.
They're really fighting.
They're fighting for positions.
Exactly.
It plays out it's like a diagnostic. You're really checking to see what the secondaries are what they're capable of, and whether or not you want to get them and their third strings and move them up potentially.
Yeah, no. So I felt like that was when around the second quarter, the end of the second quarter.
And I think
that's what we did.
Yeah, and I think the fact that after they took Sudfeld went down, I think that's where we want to talk about what we think went bad and
some bad
takeaways.
I would say some of the players that some of the things that we didn't like, or some of the players that we saw that were that we were disappointed in. I would have to say, for me, the biggest disappointment of the game was LJ Fort. He really, I mean, on the defensive side, especially with Camus going down, not going to be expected back till early November. It's you don't want to see that from him. I mean, we picked him up this offseason. We really expect good things from him. Especially coming from the Steelers, where he wasn't getting the playing time that he felt like he deserved. I don't want to give the playing time to somebody who's not going to be, playing up to par to what I believe he should be playing to. He had that one really bad, layoff pass where he just let the tight end left wide open and went in for the score like it was nothing. For me, that was like one of the biggest disappointments as far as the game goes, was LJ Fort's effort out there. Albeit it's the first game of the season, there's still a lot more, game to go.
Right.
More season to go. But we'll see. I don't know. I want to see him really take this game and use it as a way to improve himself out there on the field.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, that's one of the players there. Another player that I thought that didn't play well, Jeremiah McKinnon. Man, this he was getting beat the whole game. He gave up 2 touchdowns, over the shoulder throws that he wasn't even paying attention. He didn't even turn his body around. It wasn't there. He wasn't there. He did have a couple pass breakups and deflections, but just throughout the game, he was just getting beat. Yeah. And again, this is the first game of the preseason, and we know stuff like this is going to happen. They just need to find ways of being able to correct it, and ways of being able to, develop themselves into, maybe next game, being able to just deflect the ball. 2 times he got scored on, and maybe next game he'll be able to deflect it, and it doesn't go down as a touchdown.
Yeah,
So I think that was my biggest takeaway for what I didn't like.
You know what? I totally agree with you there, man. That's the position I'm scared of most for our defense is our secondary. I've always felt like our secondary has been suspect at best, just because of the players that have gone down. The reliability of some of the players that we put in there. It's really a scary position for me, because I feel like that's where we get burned on really badly. Front line's always been solid for us. I feel like front line's always kind of been that one driving force. I felt like that was the best part of our defense. Yeah. That secondary is, it's a little suspect with what I saw.
And it's been like that for the last couple of years, even going into our Super Bowl year when we won the Super Bowl in 2017. I mean, Jalen Mills was getting beat left and right.
Yeah, I
mean, we did have Patrick Robinson, though. And it was a little bit of a different squad than what we have this year, going in with Darby really being like one of the leaders on that team now. So that's one thing I look forward to seeing is Darby coming back strong and playing really well. Yeah. One thing I really want to talk about, what was kind of a big letdown today, was our running game. Yeah. I felt like both. I mean, I think we all have a lot of promise in Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders, but I felt what we saw today was just very disappointing. It's the first game of the season. Let's give them more reps. I felt like there wasn't really enough reps for them to do their breakouts and runs. I saw Jordan Howard get a couple where he's going straight up the middle, really downhill runner, north south.
And he didn't pick up much yardage, but the fact that you could see the power and the explosiveness coming from Jordan Howard, it was there. And another thing is Miles Sanders. The talk was pay attention to Miles Sanders today, and he finished 3 rushes for 3 yards. And I mean the whole running back tandem, we've rushed 17 times and we finished with 38.
And I think yards. A lot of those rushes actually went to Wendell Smallwood, who I mean, don't get me wrong, I really love what Wendell Smallwood brought to the team last year. I'm looking for these new guys. I'm looking forward towards Howard. I'm looking towards Sanders, and I would have liked to see what Clement would have done out there as well. I feel like those are the 3 that would be the main guys going into the season, and excluding Darren Sproles, who I think is just.
I mean, Sproles' voice.
he's a valuable asset to any team.
Yeah, to any team. It doesn't even have to be us. But.
It doesn't even have to be us specifically, but because of how many running backs we have on this squad, I feel like when you run, you need to really prove yourself out there, because a lot of these guys aren't going to make it. Okay, we're not going to go into the season having 8, 9, running backs on our squad. It just doesn't make sense to us.
I think, Hesh, I think one person that we forgot to mention, and I know that Hassan was talking about this, is Josh Adams. And I like Josh Adams, but this man cannot hold on to the ball. And you saw it last year. You saw it all of last year when he came in, and he can't hold on to the ball. He fumbled today. Yeah. He had a couple of nice runs, but he just needs to hold. I don't know what they need to do to put the ball into his hand where he can't drop it. But you were telling me earlier, Hassan, that this guy Josh Adams is just. What are we gonna do with him? I mean, I like him. Hesh, what do you think?
I think he showed great promise last year, but like I said, with the way that our running back squad is looking at right now, and the way how stacked we are there. He's on the cusp, man. He's going to be on the cusp. He's going to be on the fence. He's going to be one of those players that I know if you're a Josh Adams fan, I think you guys should be worried, because I don't know if this guy has what it takes to make the team.
And when Hisham says he's on the cusp, what we really mean is on the chopping block.
I mean, the fact that the thing is, the Eagles, I mean, they have 7 running backs on this team. You have Howard, you have Sanders, you have Corey Clement, you have Wendell Smallwood, you have Adams, you have just a bunch of different people on this team. Sproles, that's already 6 people there, and they're not going into the season with 6 running backs. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Yeah. They're not going into the season with 6 running backs, and they need to make cuts somewhere. And I think honestly, Josh Adams he's on that verge. He's on the line. Yeah. And Yeah, that's another person that we felt like didn't have a really good game, and I think the next person is a quarterback.
Playing Thornton.
He was
Thorson.
that
Thorson.
quarterback.
Sorry,
I felt like he had a couple chances out there. Now I don't want to go scrutinize him too much because he is a rookie quarterback.
Yes,
It's a little exciting. The nerves get to you when you play on the NFL stage.
Exactly.
I totally get that. He showed great power, but not enough precision.
Arm cannon, but couldn't kept hitting the wrong targets and stuff like that. He got, two interceptions, which we're probably chalk it up to nerves and stuff like that. I mean, coaching staff's gonna have to go through and review tape more than likely and kind of work with him and stuff. But
I see him working with the quarterback coach and just kind of going through and seeing what areas that he can improve on as far as his game goes, because he showed that he had power. I mean, he really did. But there were just some of these passes that just they
didn't make sense.
Bullet passes, just overthrowing a receiver. The really bad pick that he threw midway through the second or the third quarter, I think just that's what really hurt to watch. It was just come on, man, calm down those nerves a little bit. So
the thing that I think I did like about our quarterback team is right after I believe it was a fourth down and they went for it and he didn't pick up the fourth down. You saw him on the sideline. The camera went to the sideline, and there was Carson Wentz, Cody Kessler, and then Clayton Thorson. Clayton Thorson. And they were there, all grouped up together, and you see Carson Wentz on the tablet, going over strategies and going over plays, and that's the thing that we love to see about this team, and we're all a family, and that's the way that they play it. And so I think the fact that you have Carson Wentz there as a leader, he's going to want to help develop him, and I think he can pick it up. I mean, it's the first preseason game, so we don't want to go too crazy on him, but what we saw from him today as a professional athlete, 2 for 9, 7 yards, didn't really do anything, but I mean, he's going to develop, and going into game 2, I believe we only have 2 quarterbacks on active, right, because Nate Sudfeld is out. Carson Wentz, I don't think they're going to play him next week, and that leaves...
I think he does. You eventually have to get him in for 1 or 2 drives in a game. Mm-hmm. I don't think he plays more than a full quarter in any of the preseason games this season. Just because you have to rest him, you have to make sure he's great for good for the season. Just because of the high expectations we have going into this going into the season. So I think that's one thing that we have to really take into consideration. But I mean, going back to the point of you talking about what Carson was, when he took him over and kind of explained the plays, I think that's just the kind of leader Carson is. That he's ready to lead this team. He's ready to lead his brothers, and show them where to go right. So I think that's one thing I just wanted to point out and say is that I really do have faith in Carson and what he can pull off this season. So it's a matter of going out there and doing it. We have the talent. We have everything in our arsenal to be able to be a great team. It's just executing on being that great team.
Mm-hmm.
So
lead us to the promised land.
And I think and I think the fact that they built this team around Carson Wentz for this year. I mean, their first 3 picks of the draft were all offensive players. So this is it for Carson, and not this is it as if he fails, looking to trade him or pick somebody else up. But I think this is, you have the pieces set around you. He just has to find ways of being able to distribute it, and that's what he did in 2017 before he went down. People forget that he was the front runner winning the MVP. This dude was on the verge of winning the MVP, 33 touchdowns right before he went down, and there was still 4 more games left. And I think it's there for him, and I think he just has to find ways of being able to let go of the ball faster, be smart, and it'll show this year. And I mean, I'm excited. It's coming up, it's like 31 days away, and it's just 30 days now. So
going into next week, guys, we have the game against the Jaguars. I think it's gonna be a fun game. I think that'll be a great game. Nick Foles coming back home to Philly.
The game's in Jacksonville.
Oh, he's in
Jacksonville. It's in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So we're going to see a celebration for all the Jacksonville Jaguar fans who are excited to have Nick on the team. But I'm pretty sure we're not going to see.
I was going to ask. Do you think we'll see Nick Foles on the field? Because I know that he didn't play today, and that team got blown out.
I don't think we see him play. I don't think. Yeah, you might. Well, I don't know. You might see him for a play just to play against his old team. I mean, they just might throw him out there just to kind of show him some love to Philly.
Do you think if once they see once Jacksonville releases their the chart of who's starting, do you think if they see that Nick Foles is starting, you think Eagles are like, you know what, maybe we'll set Carson Wentz up there for the first drive as well?
That'd be cool. I would love to see that, but I mean, it's unlikely just because I know that Carson's still they still want him on rest. Like they need him. They need him healthy for the season. The novelty of having him go out there and play isn't worth risking. Exacerbating any injuries that he has. I strongly doubt it. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. We're excited. Week 2 of the preseason. It's right around the corner, and the season's almost here. So I think we'll take the notes that we have from today, and we'll see how the players, going into training camp again this next week.
We'll try to carry it over and see see exactly what we get for next week's game and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, guys, thank you guys for listening so much to the West Coast Eagles Nest podcast.
Exactly.
Please try to follow us on our Twitter page. We also have our Instagram,
West Coast Eagles Nest.
West Coast Eagles Nest.
Tonight we're starting the YouTube page, which is the video that you're watching. Yes. If you're watching the video, we also have the audio podcast that's going to be on SoundCloud that we recorded for you guys. Just hit us up, interact with us. That's what we're here for. We're diehard Eagles fans and stuff like that. We want to chat with our community. We want to get your guys' opinions, talk football with you guys. So just hit us up on those socials and stuff like that. Comment in our videos, share, all of that. But with that, I think, do we have any final things we want to leave off with?
No, we're just excited for the season, and we hope that you guys enjoy this podcast. If you guys have any questions or you guys want to, give us some information on what you guys think we should talk about going into future podcasts, let us know. Instagram is probably the biggest platform that we're on. West Coast Eagles Nest. Just feel free to, leave a DM or even a comment. We interact with everybody that comments on our posts. So I think that's what we wanted to say. West Coast Absolutely. Eagles Nest, and my name's Nick.
My name's Hesh.
My name is Hassan.
And we'll see you guys hopefully next week. But till then, fly Eagles fly.
Fly Eagles fly.
EAGLES.
Eagles.